How you doing? Duff here, and behind me you see my 18L, and I'm going to be taking it for a ride that's going to include Dunkin' Donuts and maybe a little bit extra beyond that. I'm actually trying to do a little bit of an experiment. Speedyfeet Ian had just posted his first review of the 18L, and included in that was some rather disappointing mileage numbers where he started getting I don't think, yeah, he didn't make 30 miles. No, he made 30 miles, barely, that's right. Made 30 miles and then it kicked him off. And then he did a second test, thinking that maybe the conditions for his first test weren't ideal, and he actually got less mileage on his 18L, closer to 25. So I had left a comment for him letting him know that once I got my battery replaced, I was experiencing much better battery performance than he was. So he was asking if I could do something with Map My Ride, and I was going to just use Strava instead because I don't believe I have Map My Ride on my... Yeah, I don't have Map My Ride set up, so I'm just going to use Strava. I think it should be able to get us the information he's looking for. And I also have my regular GPS on here as well, so I'm going to be tracking it with that as well. And yeah, we're just going to see what kind of performance we get today. As usual, it's flat in Florida and warm. Probably pushing 90 degrees right now, so let's get going. And we're rolling. My plan is to go to Dunkin' Donuts and then get a little bit extra mileage just to make it a little bit more than my normal 20-mile ride, just so we get some more data. So since I got the 18L back from eWheels, I've done two long rides. One was a little bit more than a 30-mile ride out to Ave Maria, and the other one was the standard Dunkin' Donuts ride. So, and the mileage that I calculated on the Ave Maria ride seemed crazy, seemed overly good. The mileage I got going to Dunkin' Donuts the next week seemed more in line, but it was still more than what Ian was getting. You know, I would have estimated I would have gotten 35 plus miles. So let's see what happens. Don't forget tonight the Marty and Duff live stream. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific on my YouTube channel. Be there, be square. So the 18L came right off the charger. Even though it was charged, I put it back in the charger, it was red, and then it turned to green. So this is fresh off the charger. Yes, I have knee pads on again. Yay for me. I like these new knee pads, the No Cries. There's a link for them in the description below. Like I mentioned before, they're actually for like tradesmen, but they're very strong and comfortable for doing this kind of stuff. And I like that once you have the straps adjusted where you want them, to take them on and off, there's a clasp fitting that you just hook it on and off exactly the way you want it to fit, and it takes like 10 seconds to do. So it's very easy to put them on. I like that. That fitting right there. Seems like my my Meepo Dunkin' Donuts ride video was well received. People really seemed to enjoy it. Seemed like a lot of people were surprised by how well it did. Battery wise, I got to the Dunkin' Donuts building and I had 2 of 4 lights still on after 10 miles, which is pretty crazy. And right at the end of the ride, I was still I hit the accelerator and I was still cruising 19 miles an hour with it still feeling responsive. So I thought the Meepo did great, really good. Have a gray cloud above me that is dropping a little bit of rain right now, but should be able to ride away from it, I hope, soon. Cruising right around 20 miles an hour. That's what I plan to try to maintain. Comfortable speed, relatively quick. Yeah, riding the bike lane in the Meepo is definitely challenging just because, it's a hard tire. It's not a pneumatic tire. So even the smallest pebbles, you feel it. So I was constantly trying to just, pick my path of least resistance as I rode the bike lane. And it wasn't bad, but it's definitely more interactive. You got to really pay attention when you're riding the Meepo in this bike lane.
now on the high-speed portion of the ride. We'll see just how high that is. So yesterday I got to do one of my least favorite annual events, and that is to reactivate my NFL Sunday ticket. I have a non-standard setup where I just use DirecTV just for the Sunday ticket. They typically won't let you do that, but they've grandfathered me in since I've been with them since 2000, almost 20 years. So every year they do it for me, but every year it's a humongous pain in the ass to get it working. Always the first person I talk to, they absolutely cannot do it because it requires some sort of special privilege or permissions in the system for them to allow me to just have the Sunday ticket without having a conventional programming package. So, because of my years of experience, I always know it's going to be a pain in the ass, and the first thing I lead with is I tell the person, whoever answers the phone, hey, this is a non-standard thing, you're not going to have the access to do it. I've actually had them put notes in my account because it's been such a pain to get this working in the past that are supposed to outline exactly what needs to be done. Please refer to the notes and do that. So I don't have to spend, sometimes I've spent upwards of 2 hours on the phone getting this working. So once again, yesterday I call in, the first person I talked to, at least she said it was an overseas call center, which I hate. At least she forwarded me to a department that just deals with the Sunday ticket that apparently is US based. So after talking to her for 10 minutes, she gave me another number and I called that second number. So I get the Sunday ticket department and I talk to a guy. Again, I tell him, you know, there's special shit going on here. You should look at the notes in my account. The guy says, oh no, I've been here for 9 years. I've never come across anything that I couldn't get working. I'm like, okay, great. So he fuddles around, can't get it working. He glances at the notes and says, okay, let me put you on hold. This is probably after another 10 minutes on the phone with me. Put me on hold, puts me on hold. I get hung up on, it disconnects. So I call back, and for whatever reason, DirecTV has no way to connect you with someone that you just dealt with. I've tried multiple times and they always say, no, we don't have that capability. I'm like, oh, that's kind of dumb. So I talked to a third guy and I said, hey, just talk to someone, explain the situation. I got hung up on, I'll explain it to you. So I did. So at least this guy was willing to look at the notes first, and he did so after he just quickly tried to add the service to my account and saw he couldn't do it. And he contacted someone up the chain in the back office, I guess, that has the ability to force the Sunday ticket onto my account. So he did that, said, okay, you should be good. And the whole time I have my DirecTV receiver on, turned on to one of the Sunday ticket channels, and it wasn't working. I had a 721 error, which means that the system doesn't think that your receiver is authorized for the service. Very familiar with this. So I tell the guy, hey, it may be showing on my account, but it is not working. And at first he was trying to say, oh well, it'll work tomorrow, you know, when the games are on. I'm like, no, it won't. I've been told that before. It will not work. Anyways, what I signed up for, there's two Sunday ticket packages. There's Sunday ticket games only, and then there's Sunday ticket max, where they throw in like the ability to stream the games on your computer and some other bullshit that I don't need, which is more expensive, of course. And but I told him I just wanted the Sunday ticket game only. So after him futzing around saying, oh, okay, well, let's restart the receiver, maybe that's all we need to do is just, you know, restart the receiver and then it'll refresh the authorizations. And I'm already like, no, it's not going to fix it. I can tell you it's not going to fix it. But we did it anyways, you know. Sometimes you have to jump through the hoops to satisfy the people on the other line. So we did that. Came back up, still didn't work. So this guy was one of those people that like to, like, instead of think through things, they talk through things. So he was talking through his thought processes of what he was doing the whole time, just trying various things. And none of it worked. So he again opened up a chat with this mysterious back-end management team, and after a while he came back and said, oh, okay, here's what's going on. This year DirecTV made a change where in order to do standalone Sunday Ticket, you have to get the Max package, the more expensive package. Okay, well, at that point I was so frustrated. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like I usually pay the Sunday Ticket over a 6-month payment plan. It's normally like $50 a month. For the Max, it's like 65. You know, so I was so frustrated at this point. I'm like, fine, if that will fix it, just do it. Whatever. You know, even though I'm not going to use any of that shit. So after a while, he has that back-end management team now put Sunday Ticket Max on my account, and he proudly proclaims, okay, we should be good to go. So he sends down the signal refresh, still got a 721 error, still not working. So he did some more futzing around. Eventually he had me check channel 212, which is the NFL Network channel, because on all of the Sunday Ticket channels I was still getting the 721 error code. But 212 did work. I could see the NFL Network. So the guy says, okay, well, if you can see that, you should be good to go, because he said that today I should be able to just flip on the Sunday Ticket channels and they should work, because I wouldn't get the NFL Network if it wasn't set up right. And I said to him, I said, I don't know, you know, my past experience, that is not always the case. Usually if I'm getting a 721 now, I'm going to get a 721 the next day. And he assured me that it should be fine. Should be fine. So I hung up after, it was about an hour, that call. Well, in total I probably spent an hour and a half again. But I hung up and I said to him, I said, you know, I'm going to be really, really upset if I turn on the receiver tomorrow and I still cannot get these Sunday Ticket channels. I don't want to spend another hour on the phone. He says, I understand, but I think you should be okay. Okay, so I haven't turned it on yet. When I get home from this ride, I will be turning it on. And if it does not work, I will be raising some holy hell on the phone. It's just so ridiculous to me. Like I said, I've had them put specific, detailed notes in my account on what needs to be done after going through this time and time again. And despite that, I'm still going through it time and time again. I really wish I didn't like the Eagles so much and I could just forget the Sunday Ticket, but gotta have it. Alright, so we are now on the bike path, obviously. Making our way to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm thinking what I'm going to do to get more mileage on the ride is get my coffee, and then I will go down to Logan Boulevard, make a left, intercept Vanderbilt, go up Vanderbilt to Collier Boulevard, back onto Immokalee, and then Immokalee home. That'll probably add another at least 5 miles to the ride, if not more. Of course, all that is dependent on what my battery is reading when I get to Dunkin' Donuts. It's such a contrast doing this ride on an electric unicycle versus the skateboard, the Meepo. You know, with the Meepo, I mean, the whole time I'm just constantly concentrating on the terrain, you know, making sure that I'm minimizing what I'm going to hit. And with the electric unicycle, it doesn't really matter. You know, short of a huge pothole, you can roll through almost anything. Yeah, like for example, yesterday, that spot right there is something that I carried the Meepo across. On the 18L, it's a non-event. Feet are feeling a little sore right now, not terrible, but a little bit. Alright, so without opening up the app yet, we got 7 lights of battery. So let's see what the app says. And that was after 10 miles. Actually, according to Strava, that was 10.9 miles so far. So let's just quick jump into the KingSong app. Ian was definitely not a fan of the KingSong app. Not a big fan. It seems like there's a very large discrepancy in mileage reported by the KingSong app. The KingSong app reports more mileage than actual. Alright, 78% battery after 11 miles. I'd say that's pretty darn good.
Wheel temperature 51 degrees Celsius. So okay, that's good. That makes me feel comfortable pushing the distance from here. So let's go get some coffee and I'll be back. Alright, we're ready to continue. I can already tell you that I'm doing much better than Ian was. On his second test, I think after 18 miles he was down to 30%. So, not sure what's going on. So I don't normally go down this direction, this part of the road, so. But I think I have this nice wide shoulder here I can use as a bike lane. And I think Logan is either the first or second light down the road here. All you people waiting for Z10 stands, I have another one that I finished this morning. It's gray bottom and red sides, so look for it being posted on the store sometime today. I'm not sure if I ever, well no, I think I have. But you've not seen Logan Boulevard very often. Not that it's anything thrilling. There's a bike path up there, I guess I should use it, huh? Okay, this is better. More gray clouds though. And I'm not sure what sort of terrain Ian is doing the majority of his range testing on. You know, my stuff is all paved surfaces, almost all dead straight, flat. Obviously, I know there's, you know, hilly areas around where he lives, so I don't know what kind of terrain he's doing his distance tests on, his range tests. Weight-wise, we weigh about the same. I'm a little less. I'm about 185 pounds. I think Ian's slightly more than that, but as far as the actual weight on the wheel, it should be very similar. I actually opened up a investing account recently with a company called Robinhood. I actually heard about it in one of the podcasts I listened to. They had a little promo for it. It's not a bad deal. They have a great app, and their website is equally good. It's very, very intuitive, simple, visually appealing. I really like their app and the website. But what I like is there's absolutely no fees for trades. There's no commission fee at all. Whatever the stock costs is what it costs. Like I said, it's super easy. I'm doing it on a really, really small basis. And I want to buy some Dunkin' Donuts stock, believe it or not. I'm waiting for it to pull back. It's been doing quite well, probably because of all of my coffees, but and all my free advertising I give them. But yeah, Robinhood app is pretty cool. And the cool thing is when you get referred by somebody, they give you a free stock. Now typically the stock is a cheap stock. Like I got one for signing up. I referred Cindy and I got one when she signed up. And I got, for the first referral, I got a free share of Groupon, which was like a $4 stock. And the other one was like Chesapeake Energy, which was like a $5 stock. So they're cheap stocks. You do have the opportunity, some people get lucky and they give them like a share of Apple or something more expensive. But typically you're going to get a stock that's probably $5 or less. But still, it's something you didn't have before, and it's just fun. And you can actually just sign up for an account and, you know, not do anything. You can just use it for the tools if you want to. But I like it. I'll include my referral link if you are interested in checking it out. Use my referral link. It'll help me out. Gets you a free stock as well. So yeah, check it out. And no, this is not sponsored by Robinhood. So far the 18L has been doing great on this ride, no problems whatsoever, no tilt back, no please decelerate, everything's working great. Okay, Vanderbilt Beach Road, here we go. Some of you may be wondering where Cindy is. Cindy's at home, she's with Elsa. Elsa has had some upset stomach problems, aka diarrhea issues, so we thought it was best to have someone home with her at all times, if you know what I mean. This morning about 5:30, I'm laying in bed and I can feel the bed shaking a little bit, and I put my hand out. Elsa sleeps in bed with us. She was laying between us and I put my hand on her and I could feel her shaking.
And I said to her, I said, "You gotta go to the bathroom? Are you okay?" You know, because she felt uncomfortable. So I got out of bed and we ran to the screen door. She's running, I'm running. She's farting as we go out the slider, and she craps basically on the patio, and then a little bit more once we get outside in the grass. But yeah, she had to go. But it was funny how I just had like this sixth sense that she was about ready to let loose. So we're giving her a very bland rice diet. Hopefully it clears up, but I feel bad for her. You can tell she's not feeling good. A guy, I don't know how well you can see in the GoPro, he's wearing a full suit, black suit, with the American flag in the front of his bike. It has to be very, very warm. Nice little bike path that will get me back to Immokalee Road. I have 15.63 miles of distance so far. I do need to get the 18L over to the swamp sometime. I've been kind of waiting for dry season to kind of begin, because it could be pretty nasty over there until the water recedes a little bit. So, and a slight drop in the heat would be nice as well. So I will definitely do that at some point, just not sure exactly when. So I thought I'd come up with a good idea that might be interesting. I'm jumping all over the place as far as topics go. With my 3D printed stuff, the stands and stuff, I'm going to I want to put on the descriptions of the stuff that's listed up there how much filament goes into each stand and how much total print time it takes. I thought that'd be interesting, and it might be shocking to some people what is involved, how much time it takes, and how long of a piece of filament it takes to build one of these things. But yeah, I'm going to include that, I think, in future listings. For example, with the Z10 stands, I'm selling them for $32.99 because they take more filament, more time, more filament. But my one new printer shows up tomorrow, so my capacity will be increasing greatly. Because you see, I have 5 printers at home, but only 2, and when they're all working, 3 of them are actually have a big enough print surface to do the parts that I need. 2 of the printers that I have online right now can't print those parts, so they just kind of sit there to print small things. So this new one can print stand parts as well. The same one they recommended Ian get, actually, who has 4 of them by now, by the way, believe it or not. Whoa. All right. Back at the Immokalee Road intersection, meaning I should have about 9 miles to go, and I'm at 17.5 miles on my wrist-mounted GPS. All right, here we go. Last push home. I see a road biker ahead. I believe I will be tracking him down shortly. It was a woman, not a man, who had headphones in, so she couldn't hear me say "on your left." It's never a good idea to ride with headphones. You need to be able to hear what's going on around you, for sure. My hand got sore. Had to switch. Feet are feeling a little numb, but still tolerable. I'm over 20 miles in at this point. Trucking at 22 miles an hour. No please decelerates, no battery-induced speed caps, which I like. At some point I also need to take this to work, do my work commute on here. Based on the mileage numbers I get now with the new battery, it would be no problem at all. Ride it there, charge it during the day, ride it back. And this is the point where I would really like having a seat. The thing is, I was thinking about it, even if I got the monster seat to sit on an 18L, just because of my long legs and my limited knee flexibility, I don't think I'd be able to sit on the 18L comfortably anyways. I'm too tall and too inflexible. You know, since the monster's so damn tall, it's really the only reason I can do it on that wheel. So unless I made the seat on the 18L sit up and, you know, another 6 inches, then I'd be okay. But I don't know, maybe that's a project. All right, approximately 1 mile to go. 1 mile to go. I think the top speed that I've noticed on the GPS, at least when I've glanced down at my wrist, was like 24 for brief periods of time. But like I said, most of the time I've been tracking 20, low 20s. Not excessive speed. It's been nice. I don't know if you can tell, but the water level is significantly less than it was. Our property is actually dry and has no standing water on it right now. So hoping it stays that way. Standing water is kind of depressing. All right, here we go. Home stretch. 4-reel this time. Okay, I'm back. Glancing at the lights on the 18L, I see 4 lights, which is good. According to Strava, it was 26 miles and change. Let's save this. All right, so 26 miles on Strava. Yeah, 26.34 on my GPS, and my GPS I actually started a few hundred yards late, so it's probably about 26.5 according to GPS, 26.6 according to Strava. Elevation gain of 47 feet during that ride. And now let's look at what the Gotway app says. Gotway, KingSong app, sorry. Got Gotway on the brain. All right, 43 to 44% battery. And this said it was a 51.26 kilometer ride. So let's screenshot that. I'll include that in the video. I'm going to send this information to Ian as well. Wheel temperature 54 degrees Celsius. So, alright, so I have some solid data, and I will post the Strava information here just so it can be digested easily. But again, the battery performed well. 40% after a 26-mile ride. I should get 35 miles out of it. And on Ian's wheel, he would not be able to get 35 miles out of it. So I'm wondering what's going on with his wheel. Because not only am I getting pretty stellar battery performance on this pack, but I've heard other people say the same thing, that they've gotten similar performance. Ian's numbers sounded abnormally low, based on what I've heard from other people. So let's see what happens. Cut. Okay, so that's all I got for you for now. If you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing, and feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, and ideas below. Don't forget, tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, Marty and I are having a live stream where we'll be talking anything and everything EUC, and you know, maybe I'll try to slip in some Meepo and one wheel talk. I don't know. I don't think Marty likes when I talk about that, but maybe I'll talk about it a little bit. And yeah, that's all I got for you for now. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope whatever is left of your weekend is enjoyable. And until next time, bye for now. Elsa, how are you feeling, honey? Hi, baby. Baby. How are you feeling? How's your belly?
I'll let you know how it's around.
How's your belly?
Okay.